Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text came in at 2:13 a.m., glowing faintly on the nightstand like something alive. He's still here. I don't know what to do. For a few seconds, I didn't even realize the message wasn't meant for me. My wife's phone had buzzed once, soft and apologetic, the way notifications do when someone doesn't want to wake the person beside them. She was in the shower. She'd said she couldn't sleep, said the heat might help her headache. I remember nodding, half asleep, already drifting. But the screen kept lighting up. And when I finally picked it up, still foggy with sleep, I saw the name at the top. Not mine. I told myself there had to be a reason. A mistake. A cousin. A coworker in trouble. Anything ordinary enough to keep the world from splitting open in the dark. Then another message appeared. He'll figure it out eventually. My chest tightened in a slow, unfamiliar way, like something heavy settling inside me instead of exploding. I set the phone back exactly where it had been, screen down, hands suddenly cold. When she came out of the bathroom, hair damp, eyes careful, I pretended to be asleep. That was the first lie between us that night. Not hers. Mine. In the morning, everything looked normal. Sunlight through the kitchen window. Coffee brewing. Her humming softly while she searched for her keys. Normal is a powerful disguise. I watched her move around the kitchen and tried to match this version of her. The woman who kissed my cheek before work, who asked if I wanted eggs, with the glowing words from the night before. I couldn't. So I did what scared people do. I doubted myself first. Maybe I misread it. Maybe I dreamed it. Maybe love makes you paranoid if you stare at it too long. For 3 days I said nothing. But once you see a crack, you start noticing the whole wall. She began tilting her phone away when she texted, taking calls in the hallway, laughing at messages she never explained. Small things, quiet things, the kind that sound ridiculous when spoken out loud. By the end of the week, silence felt heavier than the truth. I found out on a Thursday, though found isn't the right word. It was more like the truth got tired of hiding. She said she was working late. I said okay. My voice sounded normal enough to fool both of us. But instead of going home after work, I drove past her office. Her car wasn't there. I remember gripping the steering wheel, heartbeat slow and loud, like footsteps in an empty hallway. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. Then I remembered the message. He's still here. I don't know what made me drive to the apartment across town. Maybe instinct. Maybe denial trying to prove itself wrong. Maybe love, making one last desperate attempt to survive. The hallway outside the apartment smelled like detergent in someone else's dinner. Ordinary. Harmless. My hand shook when I knocked. No answer. But the door wasn't fully closed. Just resting against the frame. Like whoever was inside never imagined I'd be the one standing there. I pushed it open slowly. And there they were. Not in some dramatic pose. Not like a movie. Just sitting close together on the couch, knees touching, speaking in low voices that stopped the second they saw me. Real betrayal is quiet like that. Almost gentle. For a moment, none of us moved. Then he stood up halfway like he wasn't sure what role he was supposed to play. Stranger. Intruder. Apology. She looked at me the way people look at accidents, shocked but not surprised. And before I could say anything, before I could even breathe properly, he said it. Calm. Casual. Almost bored. He's not going to do anything. He's helpless. Something inside me didn't break. Cleared. All the confusion. All the doubt. All the desperate searching for another explanation. Gone. Not replaced by rage. Just certainty. I looked at her, really looked, and realized the woman I loved had already been leaving for a long time. I was just the last one to see it. Is that true? I asked quietly. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. And that silence told me more than any confession could. I nodded once. Not to them. To myself. Then I turned and walked out. No shouting. No threats. No scene dramatic enough to match the pain. Just footsteps down a hallway that felt longer than any distance I'd ever traveled. The divorce was calm. Paperwork. Signatures. Careful conversations about who keeps what, as if love could be itemized and divided neatly. She cried once. I didn't. Not because I was strong. Because the tears came later, in quieter places, like the grocery store aisle where her favorite cereal still waited. untouched by everything that had happened. What stayed with me most wasn't the image of them together. It was that word. Helpless. For a while I believed it. Betrayal has a way of shrinking you, making you feel small for trusting, foolish for loving, weak for hoping. But walking away that night, that wasn't helpless. It was the first decision I'd made for myself in a long time. A year has passed now. The apartment is different. The mornings are quieter. Some days still ache in places I can't explain. But peace has a sound too. Soft, steady, honest. Sometimes I think about that night, the glowing phone, the open door, the word meant to define me. And I realize something strange. He was wrong. Because helpless men don't leave. They don't rebuild. They don't learn how to breathe again in a life they never planned. I did. And the most shocking part of all was discovering I was never helpless to begin with.